Thank you so much for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. It's now time for us to look at what the papers are reporting this morning. I'll be starting off with the Nation newspaper as well as the rest. President Tinubu commissions road linking Aide with Zuba Road today. Leadership newspaper says 2027, ex-Tinubu's aide, Baba-Ahmed, observes cracks, slams coalition. No time for new party, Babachir and will unite under one political party, El-Rufai, reacting there. Nigerian News Direct focuses on poverty, porous borders, which are said to be the national security threats, according to the CDS, who is raising the alarm. The next newspaper, Platform Times, also says DSS warned military of Benue attacks 1 month before massacre. That's leaked memo revealing there. This Nigeria, EFCC nabs ex-NNPCL CFO, top officials over alleged $7.2 billion refinery fraud. A Punch newspaper focuses on the Electricity Act by President Tinubu's administration. 7 states take charge of power regulation. Fears as experts, consumer groups foresee glitches, or your Enugu others take control. Daily Independent newspaper, farmers see food prices crashing over removal of roadblocks. And last but not least is the Sport Alive jumbo contract. Al Hilal offer Osimhen 160 million euros. I almost said naira. I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Etoma, Veronica, good to see you again, and then Ria.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So let's start off with the Nation newspaper, which takes the lead. Any day, any time. You look at what the president is, doing with his administration. Those who are in sync with him, even those who are out of sync, now getting in sync. So we've seen the president to inaugurate the road linking Aide with Zuba Road, which will be happening today. Also to the commissioning of the newly constructed right-hand service carriageway of Inner Northern Expressway, that's INEX, from Ring Road 3 to Outer Northern Expressway, Murtala Mohammed Expressway, Aide to Zuba Road. And I think even after this program, he will also be visiting his Nasarawa State, where we'll be commissioning, the secretariat. And then we saw him also commissioning 2,000 tractors, which will definitely go into our farms, till the land and give us more food.
Commissionings are good. Anytime it has to do with commissioning, I feel that yes, it shows that the government is working, But you see, there are so many projects that are being done. Can Mr. President commission all? Or he will send representatives that will bear his name, wear his cap, and go do those commissionings. Yeah. Anyhow you look at it, it is always a beautiful and a happy thing to see that projects are being done, infrastructure is being renewed and improved, which definitely will translate to better life for the people and a better economy.
I love your conviction. Definitely will translate to better life for the people. But it's one thing to put infrastructure on the ground, is another thing to think of how do we maintain it, for longevity.
Yes.
Absolutely, and that's where the people need to support whatever initiative the government is putting in place in terms of infrastructure. Yeah. It's important that the people understand that this infrastructure being put in place is for you, and that you are the one that will make use of it even much more than the person that is coming to commission at the end of the day, because sometimes you see that these things are commissioned and then you see people vandalizing these things, selling them to people who want to buy them. Yes, they have a market for it, and I'm hoping that we begin to clamp down on the market that encourage people to vandalize these things.
Structures,
Because if these structures are not in place, how do we see development? How then do we get the benefits of the dividends of democracy at the end of the day? All of this are intertwined to what we call dividends of democracy, because the infrastructure has its role to play. Maintenance is from the people and also the government, where they work hand in glove and then ensure that the people enjoy these things at the end of the day.
But the thing is, if you vandalize, you're vandalizing your own self, and we need to make people understand that, because Nigeria is for all of us. We are all Nigerians, yes. And I feel like if you do that, you are doing it to your own self. And I tell people this a lot. we complain about the government a whole lot, but sometimes when we see that things are done, we should also give them their accolades. I really love the fact that 200 tractors were given out. This will help agriculture as well.
2,000.
2,000. Can you imagine? A whole 2,000.
And more to come.
And more to come still. And it will help agriculture a lot. So when I see things like this, I also want to give them the accolades. In as much as we bash them a lot, when they do something good, I think we need to recognize them for that. And also talking about maintenance policy, it's not about doing something. We also, apart from the citizens that may vandalize or may not, as the federal government as well should try that when these things are done, maintenance policy is also very important, because sometimes it's not away from the people, but they don't maintain it themselves. Yeah. So you see some of the roads now become bad. You see potholes. When there's one pothole, they don't treat it, it becomes a lot. Yeah. So we also need to look at maintenance quality. But I think that so far he's been doing a great job when we talk about communication stuff.
Well, that's right. Just before you go to the next, 20 seconds. These are the kind of the message she passed across. These are the kinds of messages that the National Orientation Agency should be pushing out to the people.
The NOA is actually doing some things now. They are getting in our faces. We're getting to see them. Talk about we are one Nigeria, accountable Nigeria.
I think I've seen some stuff on social media.
Let's go to specific messages that will help us.
Right. It starts from somewhere. All the same. Let's move on to the leadership newspaper. 2027, ex-Tinubu's aide, Baba-Ahmed, observes cracks, slams coalition. No time for new party. Babachir Lawal will unite under one political party. That's according to former Cardinal State Governor El-Rufai. But we have, marriage of, I don't want to say strange bedfellows because they've always been together. At the point they were separated, now they're coming together, saying that we must wrestle this power from the incumbent APC. But others are looking at, so who takes what? Who shares what? And that's where the problem might probably come.
Yeah, I thank God you did not use strange bedfellows, because they use strange bedfellows for APC, and look at where APC is right now. You get what I'm saying? The beginning of any coalition is always coming with those kinds of uncertainties. For this particular one, I see a group of people that are interested in political power coming together. I'm not just talking about political power. They're interested in actual positions here and there. And as you said, maybe that's where the crack will deepen or widen, as the case may be. We'll just have to look, be patient and see what happens. Uncle Sam says,
That's right. This same Baba-Ahmed also said that the selection of the vice president, because there's this rancor or this disagreement over whether Kashim Shettima would be the running mate for the president. But say, come on, wait till we take the ticket, and it's at that point that I will, select the running mate. But in all of this, looking at Ada, you mentioned Ada, and I added Obi to it. So whether you have Ada, Obi, or Cutlass, as Super Sam mentioned yesterday.
Whatever the matter is in terms of the coalition, whether it be Ada, Machete, whatever it is, if they do not have a united front, if their interest is not about Nigerians, if it is that at the heart of it, what they want to achieve is not aligning with the thoughts and the ideals of the average Nigerian, they may not achieve so much, because they haven't taken off, and we're already seeing cracks showing as it is. They must, it pains me when people who have experience are not putting their experience to work for some things like this, or because their selfish interest is ahead of them. Why not put your selfish interest aside and do the needful for our democracy, for Nigeria? If you really, really have the interest of Nigerians at heart, it should begin to show from the kinds of conversations that you are having. It should begin to show from the kinds of meeting you are getting. Issues about rancor, cracks in the wall shouldn't be heard. Someone should even say, you know what, okay, if that is the issue, I lay down whatever it is because I want us to. But at the end of the day, there's still a long time. 2027 is still far away, but then all of the politicking has begun. How they go about it will determine how far and what result they will achieve at the end of the day.
2027 to you is still a long
I was going to
time.
tell you, it's almost here, actually.
But to politicians, it's just...
almost
That's
here.
why I said
Tomorrow.
politicking has
That's
begun.
right. That's right.
And when I listened to, I watched the interview where I listened to Erufai speak, and you could see that he was just talking from a place of, let's just take this government out, and not from a place of, I want Nigeria to be better. Because he made a statement when they asked him, he was like, I'm not even trying to nominate myself as president. I'm not trying to do that, but all I'm trying to do is to make sure that I get this party out. And this is where the selfish reasons come in. Are we thinking about Nigerians in all of this? But well, you know how it is, it's democracy. So opposition, we need to hear from them. On this table, we kept on saying that what are they doing, where are they? But now they have come with their cutlass. So they listen to us and they've come. But you know, some of the comments don't look like comments for, you know, being there for Nigerians. It looks for comments like you have an idea you want to do, you want to take someone out. Basically, for me, that's how it looks like.
Interesting stuff, and it's quite interesting. You know, it's paradoxical when you find these same people who, you know, championed the cause for the, you know, emergence of the APC at the last election, and now you're seeing them saying this. So how do we trust them with whatever they say again?
You trust politicians.
That's Nigerian politics.
All right, guys, let's move on to the Nigerian News Direct and Platform Times that talk about, you know, the issue of insecurity. First and foremost, and I want us to be as fast as we can. Poverty, porous borders, and national security threats, which the CDS is raising the alarm, and then take it alongside the Platform Times saying that the attack that happened in Benue State, where we had about 200 people killed, they got a memo. They got you know, intelligence as to this was going to happen. So how do you know, approach this?
It's a classic case of interagency agencies not cooperating. I don't know why they see themselves as different.
No, the defense headquarters said that they were there. What they got the intelligence, they were there, they listened to DSS, but they got a decoy that something is happening somewhere else. They had to go there, and then that attack happened. So that's...
I mean,
so how did the
DSS,
decoy happen? Who gave the call? Who gave the call?
You know, they have actually solved their problem without saying so. The DSS gave you credible intelligence. You responded to that intelligence, and then somebody called you out of that place. Come on, man. I don't need to be an intelligence expert to know that call, whoever gave that call, wherever it originated from, that person or group of persons are culpable. So there should be investigated and arrested.
In my head, who made the call?
Yeah.
Who gave the
made
call?
the
Of course, that's the question I asked.
Yeah.
Who made the call? Who gave the directive that something was happening somewhere else. And that people should move to that axis at the end of it? You see, we also remember that when the Chibok girls happened, there were reports of someone made the call that the military should withdraw from chasing these people.
Yeah.
So who is this person that keeps making calls? You see, statement like this, it pains me to hear statements like this coming from such persons. What are you doing with this information? Don't just give me statement. Tell me that at the end of the day that you caught you have the person who made the call. Perhaps give us the name so that we can follow the details of what is going on behind the scene, and this person is brought to book at the end of the day, because lives were lost, properties were destroyed. A lot of people cannot get their families back. Closure is still a matter here. So, and you are here telling us that there was a decoy. What did you do with the person?
And for me, it just looks like playing blame games. Because at this point, it doesn't even make sense if you are not telling me that you've caught the person. If you're not telling me that you don't know who made the call. Okay, you've come out and you've realized that a call was made. What are you doing to catch the person that made the call? Would the person keep on making calls? I feel like this statement as well doesn't even really sit well with me, and will not sit well with people that have lost their families.
If you recall, the CDS made a statement in Yelwata, you know, that even the military...
That's right.
You know, is compromised on this issue. And
we all have heard that before now. So what are you doing is the issue.
So if you look at this Nigeria, which happens to be the next, EFCC nabs ex-NNPCL CFO, top officials over alleged $7.2 billion refinery fraud. So we see EFCC having Eagle as their as their logo, and they are acting like a cat, you know, stealthily, and then they pounce on their targets. But because of our time, I want us to move on to the next one, which is the Punch newspaper, talking about Tinubu Electricity Act. 7 states take charge of power regulation. You know, we've been saying that decentralize this power regulation, this control, so that states will bear the ownership or the control of this generation. But they still fear, their fears that, would they be able to do it?
What Mr. President is doing slowly is actually turning Nigeria to a true federal state. These are things that state governments should have been handling from the very beginning, you know, and now he's pushing them little by little. Remember what the MD of the Nigerian Railway Corporation said, that the states are getting involved. The states are, he's pushing a whole lot of things, you know, towards the state. He also mentioned that there are some things about the railway thing that has been removed from the exclusive list, you know, and so on. I think it's a move in the right direction, and I pray that it succeeds. But I cannot run away from the fact that $7.26 billion US went missing in NNPC, and I thank EFCC for making some arrests.
I want us to make judicious use of the little time that we have. Veronica, let's go to Daily Independence, where we see farmers saying that they see food prices crashing over removal of roadblocks. To boost mechanized farming, Tinubu unveils 2,000 tractors. We talked about that. And they said vows to make farming attractive to youth. Great jobs. Yeah, I think I heard the president made that statement in his last speech.
It's good that this whole thing we are doing is trying to ensure that food security becomes a thing for us, that we are self-sufficient at the end of the day. But let's not forget that there are external factors that could also affect, you know, whatever we are trying to do. At the end of the day, if we had started building our stockpile before now, then we can talk about the crash in prices. The war between Iran and Israel will also affect Russia and Ukraine. We've seen how it affected us. And so all those external factors are critical, right? We are talking about perhaps a rise in the prices of oil, and we know the impact on food items, that it will increase the price of whatever it is that is being sold. So it's important that as a government, whatever steps we are taking, we can hasten it up to, you know, build a buffer against whatever inflation we might be seeing at the end of the day. Food inflation is still a matter here, and security challenges are still a major issue. So I am not sure where I can situate it, if we're going to see a crash in price that will last for a while, but it might just be temporary.
And we pray it's not temporary at the end of the day, you know, because when we talk about food security, that's one of the most key things. People will eat. We all ate before we came here this morning, you know, so when it comes to that, I'm also very sensitive about it. And some of these things I feel like we should have started a long time ago. You know, right now when I read news, I'm just when is it? What is the implementation? How is it going to last? That's what comes to my mind, because it looks so beautiful when you read it, but next 2 months, 3 months, you're hearing something else.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Sports and Life is what is next, which the last but not least, and they said jumbo contract. Al Hilal offer Osimhen 160 million euros. Ria is someone that's always thinking.
This our Victor again.
No, she has
Veronica,
she has that binocular. Let's look at the money.
Victor Osimhen.
I'm not his manager.
He should come and marry you.
No, of course not.
He already has a lady in his life.
No, but it looks really beautiful for Victor, actually. You know, I just love the fact that we hear a lot of money, and it just shows how valuable he is as a player.
I'm looking at the other side of it, that so many people are coming with humongous amounts of monies and all that. That young man is not sleeping well.
Well, he is.
How can you make that genuinely?
You can't claim he's
You
not
understand? He's
sleeping
making
well.
the money legitimately.
I won't sleep well, so
he is sleeping well because he says he's on holiday and he wants to enjoy that.
Yes.
But the issue for him is he needs to secure his future. He has limited time playing, and so his feet can get tired at any point. So that's why he's taking his time. But he needs someone who will help direct. He also wants to play in Europe. He wants to, when you talk about Champions League and all of that, he wants to play in those leagues. So that is why he's stalling when you're talking about making decisions. Well, no matter how huge the package is, this is about over 200 billion naira.
A lot of money.
So
I think we guys, we need to.
Let me not talk
We need to turn this table to a pitch and start making money. All right, guys, as you're looking to also make your own, maybe more than 160 million euros, as Osimhen is making, do stay with us. We're coming up on TVC Breakfast.